What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reacting to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Let's go ahead and get right into the video.
All right, what you got for me?
6. I just had a baby, actually, out of wedlock. We were together for 7 years, and now we're not. So my baby is 7 months now, and I guess I'm in my therapy time. That's what I'm doing right now. I got into therapy like a month ago, and we've been broken up about a month and a half. And yeah, I'm on the next path, I guess.
Okay. Well, kudos for being in therapy.
Yeah.
But the first question that comes to my mind is, why? You've been with a guy since 19, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why would you get pregnant at 25?
Irresponsible.
And look, right on cue, the smoke detector. The infamous smoke detector has made its reappearance, guys, in another episode. But irresponsibility. Okay, I guess that's where we're going to go with. Nice. At 19 and 25.
Yeah, I was on birth control, then I wasn't.
What does he do for a living?
He has a college degree, but he's currently like a youth director for like a center.
What is he?
He was like a college athlete. He had his degree and then he graduated, and now he's
Where does he live?
Florida.
With who?
He lived with his grandmother, and now he has his own place, like a
But when you got pregnant, he was living with his grandmother.
Yeah.
And so you guys didn't get married for what reason?
We were young. We are young.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
Man,
that
young people get married all the time.
We weren't ready. We weren't ready to be married.
What do you mean you weren't ready to be married? Were you guys together monogamously?
We weren't ready to get married, but we were ready to have a child, a baby. Make that make sense. How does that even make sense? Come on.
Yes.
So you see, why do you far too many sisters will sit in these long relationships with men, and you won't go down to the courthouse, but you'll live like common law, man and wife. But now look at you. You don't even have to, now you got a child and you're effectively a baby mama, which you would have been at least a single mother. This entire story you told would have sounded a hell of a lot better, even him living with his grandmother, if you guys would have been a struggling young couple married trying to raise a kid. The way you told this story, what do you think is going to do to your opportunities to date other men, especially higher earning men on the open dating market?
It definitely hinders it. I've already knew that I knew that for a minute. But I mean, I guess I don't believe this takes me off the market, to be honest.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you don't, do you?
I don't. I
don't really?
believe so.
Oh, well, let's talk about it.
Okay.
You're 20 what? 26.
20. I'll be 26.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Dress size?
I'm like a 6'8", maybe.
And how much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I weigh 160.
Still got the baby weight on you. And your child's how old?
I don't have the baby weight on me.
But well, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt because you're overweight.
Damn.
All right.
Its face. He said, listen, I tried to help you out.
I'm quite slim, but
No, you're not. I'm looking, man. Okay. Again,
I'm
I'm an image consult.
5'5".
Look, lady. Look, you're overweight. Should be 125, 6. You should be about 130 pounds. So let's keep on moving because you're not going to win that battle with the image consultant. You can tell me you look good and all this other kind of stuff, but see, the market is my clients, my guys, and you don't think it takes you off the market. Okay, who do you think? What do you do for a living?
I work in the medical field. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I work as like a desk
How
job.
many children would you like to have total?
3.
3 total.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to stay at home or would you like to have to go to work?
I would like to stay at home.
Okay, so you want to be a stay-at-home mother for your husband, but you're already a working mother with your child.
Yes.
Right. So, in the city, did you say you lived in?
Miami, Florida.
Miami, one of the toughest dating markets in the country. All right. How much would it cost for a man to have a stay-at-home mother of 1, 2, 3 children, living a middle-class life to where his wife does not have to work? The kids could all live in a middle-class life, could go to college if they want to and have their college paid for. Just the American dream. How much would a man need to make in Miami to afford for his wife to stay at home like that?
Well, from stuff I've heard on your channel and just living here in Miami, I would assume maybe like at least $200,000, maybe
200,000?
150. Yeah.
Lean forward a little bit more.
All right. 250.
No, you're closer to 350. Miami.
All right.
How many men earn that kind of money? What percentage of men in this country earn $300,000, $325,000 plus? What percentage?
Oh, I don't know it, but I know I watch your channel, so I'm sure it's not that many.
Oh, no, give me a number though.
I don't know, maybe like in Miami, that amount of
No,
men,
no, this,
maybe
go ahead.
less than 10%.
I said in the country, ma'am, but
Oh,
in the country, we're talking about less than 5% men.
mhm.
So if you're talking for a man that's 5, and that's not adjusted for uh, a lot of things. Do you have a race preference? Do you need him to be black or do you care?
I like black men, but I'm open to date.
So you'd marry a white man and have a white
No,
man's children? Okay, so
no, I
you want a
wouldn't.
black man.
I want a black man.
So let's knock the bullshit off. You want a black man who's making $300,000, $325,000 plus, and those are even more rare. Why would he want a baby mama? Who does not require her baby daddy to marry her, and she's
I did
working when he
require
hold on,
marriage.
no, you didn't know, man. You did not require him to marry you before you had a child. And
Correct.
you are a baby mama working right now. Why should this man who's had to make himself in the top 5% of all men marry you and allow you not to have to work to have his 2 kids when you already have 1 child and you have to work?
Um,
No, it's crickets. Because you know this sounds like an unfair deal, right? Like none of this sounds pleasant to anyone on the opposite side. Or at least the people she's trying to sell this to. No one's going to believe this.
guess he don't have to have me then. I
No,
don't
you
have
said
to
you
have.
don't. You said it didn't take you off the market, and I said, yeah, it does for what you're talking about. But you can still be a side chick. You can be a side chick to a guy like that, but be his wife. You can't even tell me. You can't even make this make sense.
Well, I'm here to learn.
Well, here's what you learn. Don't. First off, the entitlement, the nerve of thinking that you're not off the market for what you want is rank arrogance. You're going to have to work for the rest of your life. After you get them 2 kids, you're going to work. Like 72% of all mothers in this country, they have to work.
All right.
I mean, you're working now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And are you a prospect to be somebody's wife right now?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, well, I answered that question in the ways of someone else, but no, I'm not,
Okay.
because I have a child and I'm working on, I need to work on myself right now, and that's what I'm doing. So no, I'm not a prospect to be somebody's
But
wife.
you need, okay, but see, here's the thing, man. You want a higher caliber man than the man you had a child with. Men look at the woman and her past and judge the price. You gave a lower caliber man your most valuable item, and you gave it away for free. That's your womb. You gave him your womb for free. He can't even take care of himself. So you gave your womb away for free, and you went out and had a child for a man who was living with his big mama. That makes you sound, I'm going to use the word, ma'am, and I need you to hold on, okay? Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to insult you. I really am not. But on the open market, that makes you sound like a loser. That you would choose to have a child for a man like that.
Okay. Wow.
If I could let you be a fly on the wall when I'm talking to men of the kind of earning potential you're talking about, and let you ladies hear how these men talk about women who choose to go have babies out of wedlock, and hear these ridiculous stories like yours and the previous caller. That's what these guys are saying. What? But you want me to be an attorney and then marry you and then bring you around my colleagues and clients and have to explain to that backstory? That will make them look bad. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No,
So
I understand.
so why can't you get why aren't you just married to the guy you have a child with?
We,
Angie, you're next.
yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, I get it, ma'am. You don't feel like you're that old. You feel like you're pretty young. You look at yourself in the mirror and you look at your height and your weight compared to the rank and file black woman and say, I'm still in shape. I look good. But that's fine, ma'am. But in
Bare
Miami,
minimum.
huh?
That's the bare minimum.
Well,
To
but the thing in Miami, that's never been enough. You have a full child, and any man who decides to marry you, they're going to have to take on the financial responsibility of that child, because it doesn't sound like your baby daddy can afford to pay attention. And to think that somebody's going to come along and say, well, you can be a wife and stay at home, when they could go out and get a woman who has no children. And that person, the person you're raising right now, is a baby. It's not even walking. But when he's up and about, you all kind of things come with kids, disciplinary issues. And I've been a stepfather. It's a shitty deal. You got all cost and no benefit. Angie, what's going on?
Yes.
What you got for me? A man with any sense want to deal with that? I mean, seriously, a man who has his shit together and is available on the market. Why would he want a financial diva with that going on?
So you made a very good point, because the guy I'm seeing right now asked me the same question. What good am I to a relationship? But I feel like the experiences that we have make us who we are.
Your experiences. So, in other words, Your negative experiences, he had no benefit of your youth, your fertility or your womb. See, a lot
Well,
of
the
times women,
person,
a lot of times women think because you get older and you have more experience that makes you more valuable. Name a product on the market that gains value with age and use.
I know, Kevin, I think you began that with me, because we talked before, and I think I was the person that initiated you to ask that question. It is absolutely relevant to what you're saying. However, I don't want to necessarily add value to my marketplace value. I just want to be a slight contribution to the family.
What do you mean family? Are you gonna have any more kids?
No, no.
Then that won't be a family.
Well, it would be a family between him and I and my
Okay.
daughter because she's the last one. And if he has any kids, right? So I'm a kind of a workaholic, and I love what I do, and so it brings me a lot of joy. So I do want to continue to do that and contribute to the family unit.
How many
But
hours a week do you work?
40 hours a week, 80 hours every 2 weeks.
It's not a workaholic.
No, it's not. But I do a little bit more. I don't necessarily claim what I do, but
So
I work for
I'm
the
just
government, so it's all good.
you sound like a whole handful.
Really?
Yeah, to say the absolute least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to have a
Oh,
conversation with you. You say workaholic, 40 hours, but it's really not what it is. I'm trying to understand what it is. And if you got a man who says, what good are you or what do you bring to the table?
he did.
What does that tell you if he asks you that question?
Yeah, it made me sad. It made
Why?
me sad
Why?
because I've gone through a lot in my life,
So the world doesn't
and
owe you. The world doesn't owe you and me understanding. Your problems are your own, pal.
they are
So we can't go around saying
absolutely.
I've been through a lot in my life. Who gives a shit? That doesn't matter in the sexual marketplace. It matters
I
what you bring
know.
to the table and what you can negotiate. Because what you've been through in your life, how are you having better outcomes, or how is it helping you to be better with another person? And if you got a man that you're dating asking you what good are you, then what good is everything you've been through in your life?
Hold on. Did he just cook? Nah, Kevin just cooked. We cannot overlook what he just said. What is the point of these things if they don't make you better? What is the point of going through all of these things you go through in life if they are not to make you a better person? You should be coming out on the other side better, more understanding, more willing. But see, in a lot of cases, it doesn't happen that way for a lot of people. Nobody cares about that. And the fact that this man had to ask her, what could you bring to the table, showed you that this man hasn't seen much in her. And this whole excuse of, oh yeah, I've been through a lot. People that are watching this video right now, I guess you've never been through anything. And if you're a man especially, you've never been through nothing. Because it's like it could only happen with very particular people. No one has ever went through any hardship. No one has never went through any struggle, any moment where they didn't feel themselves. I guess she's the only one. No excuse for everyone else, right?
I feel like I shouldn't have said that.
The truth is, man, apparently you don't like the truth.
No, it hurts and it stings and
Why
it's
does it
not
hurt?
nice
Why does it hurt?
because it's reality, and
Oh, okay.
sometimes it's
So we should just, and that's part of the problem right now. Modern women are far too soft. That's why so many people can sit around and lie to y'all and pander to y'all. And then you get
mm,
upset when you deal with liars and cheaters because those are the people you like. But people who just repeat the truth, no matter how you repeat it, it's hurtful, it's mean, you're throwing it in my face. Well, damn. I mean, you're the one that did what you did on both sides.
I
And better
did.
line is at 43, if you're going to have a better outcome with the man, which is possible. What did you learn from what you've been through?
I definitely learned a lot through counseling, a lot of counseling.
Okay.
And
But
I, I
in a
did
marriage with
financial
you,
counseling.
who would lead?
It would have to be the man, because
No.
I don't even want that.
Have you ever, when have you ever followed a man in your life?
I will follow. I would say I'm a good follower.
What was the question I asked?
When have I been a good follower? So I don't know if this makes a difference, but I was in the military for a very long time, and I've followed many, many, many great
You had no choice in the
inspirational
military,
leaders.
ma'am. You had no choice in the military. It's a chain of
Yes,
command.
but it's a part
No,
of who
no,
I
ma'am. I
am.
asked a simple question. When have you ever followed a man?
I followed my first husband. I followed my second husband
Hold on. See, notice how you said you followed your first husband, then you're going to go right to your second, and I followed him until he did something wrong. But see, you don't like to talk about you followed your first husband until you cheated. See how you're about to go say what he did in the second marriage, but you skipped over what you did in the first one?
But you would already know.
The fact of the matter is you did not follow him because there's no amount of following that leads in infidelity. That makes no sense. Look in the comment section after this video is over and look at the men and say there's no way a woman can say she's following her husband to another man's penis.
Wait, hold on. So I guess we may have missed this type of broadcast when they went on for the first time. But if he had this conversation with her before and she cheated on her husband and then got another husband and want to mention what he didn't do right, this woman is lacking accountability, of course. This is, come on, we've seen this already, right? Everyone, we've seen this already.
I'm not gonna look at the comment section. I promise. I'm
Well,
not. I know I was wrong. I know I was
but
wrong.
my point is, have you ever really followed a man? Meaning, like you said in the financial thing, you're a financial diva. You mean you're gonna come home and bring your hard-earned check and you're gonna turn it over to your husband and he gonna manage 100% of it? Okay.
Not 100%, 50%.
Oh, so he only gets to what?
He gets the 50% that I'm contributing to the household.
Oh, and then you keeping 50%.
Absolutely.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
That doesn't
Avoid
work.
women like this, gentlemen. Avoid them. Avoid them. Avoid women like right here. Avoid. Leave.
Why?
No, absolutely not. Avoid them. Absolutely not.
He just Thanos snapped her.
Can I ask why?
Yes, because you're a whole problem. Because money is power. Power is control. And you want to still be in power and control. And something, the way you said, I said, who's supposed to lead? Who's going to lead? You said the man would lead. That's what you said, ma'am. But he doesn't lead in all things. He only leads in the things that you're willing to give over. So the important stuff, you're only going to give him half of it. But he still has to take responsibility for your daughter like his daughter, because that'd be a stepchild to him, right? So he couldn't just give her a plate of food and say, here's a plate of food, but I'm going to give you the half of a half that your mama gave you. So a whole plate of food, here's what I got to give. That's half. And you wouldn't want it like that.
No.
So he couldn't go get a 100-watt light bulb and say, you can only use this light bulb to 50%. So she'd get a whole 100 watts, right? But that ain't his kid, but he's supposed to provide. Hello?
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
Is that not right?
Is that not right? You make a good point.
Right.
You make a good point.
So a man's supposed to come take care of another man's child for you, and at best, you're gonna give half your money. So why do you need to squirrel away the other half for yourself?
I heard that on Ayala Fix My Life, and I thought it was a good idea.
I asked you why.
Because I thought it was a good idea.
Why? You
It
thought it was a good
sounds
idea?
good
Why? It sounds good. Why does it sound good? Why is it a good idea? Why?
because we both are contributing 50% of our income into the
Uh-huh.
household.
So you're contributing 50% of your money, 50% of his money, but 50% of your money gets to go somewhere else. Gentlemen, you don't even need to know why her mind is this way. Just know, with women, follow the money. I said this a year ago. Women follow the money. Women can be kicking it with 6, 7, 8 different men, but look at the man that she spends money on, and that's where her heart is. This woman is basically telling you, you will never have 100% of her. At best, you'll get 50, but you need to come bring and provide as though you're 100% her man and a stepfather. Avoid them. Don't need to understand the psychology of it. Just know that something don't feel right in your spirit with this. And Iyanla Vanzant and whoever, whatever, at 43 years old, man, if this is the way you want to do things, fine. That means you guys are going to have a bunch of, y'all are business partners, roommates at that point. There's no advantage to marrying a woman that's only going to give you 50% of her money. And I will say this, anytime there's fear, scarcity, and lack, it's a wrong-headed choice. And what you're saying is rooted in fear, scarcity, and lack.
I agree.
And no one needs to marry somebody who, male or female, who's coming at it from a standpoint of fear, scarcity, and lack. That's a man or a woman.
That's so interesting, Calvin.
It's not a value judgment. It's just that
So
marriage is
interesting.
supposed to be something higher. I mean, think about it. You're going into business with somebody, and you're supposed to be. This is your life partner.
Yeah.
So that means so you're always going to have an escape fund.
Yeah. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Good. It makes sense to a woman who's a runner, a woman who's never really committed to anybody but herself, a diva. That's why I said men need to avoid women like this, like you. Yes, makes perfect sense. It's all about you.
So are you saying that there's no compatibility with me at all?
I didn't say that. I just said what kind of men I would deal with wouldn't. But I'm just saying, are you a Christian? Were you raised Christian at all?
Yeah,
Are you still Christian?
I am.
All right. Adam was getting along in the garden just fine. God gave him instructions. He followed those instructions just fine. Things was cool. Adam started looking around saying every other species has a mate. What's up, God? God said, you know what? You're right. Go on sleep, son. I take care of this. Reached in, took the rib out, said, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, blah, blah, blah. Here goes Eve. What's Eve's charge? To be Adam's helpmate.
Yep.
Now, up until the time Eve came along, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was right there. Did Adam bother that tree? God said, you can have everything over here, just don't touch that. Did Adam even sweat it? No.
No.
He went everywhere else. But the one thing Adam told Eve not to do, that's what she carried her ass, because that's your nature. And she wanted to do, and what did the devil say? The reason God don't want you to know that, because he don't want you to be on his level. Power.
Right.
Power is always an aphrodisiac to the feminine. So guess what? Y'all gonna hold power. Whether you're a Christian or not, the story still holds. Ma'am, you're being, what that, I ask you a question. When your hip go out at 67 years old, when your knee go out at 72 years old, how's that money gonna comfort you? When you look over, ain't nobody there except you and your money.
Yeah. It's not gonna, nobody's gonna be there but the help nurse or whatever.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to spend that money anyway.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, what you're basically telling the man is money is worth more than you, and I'm cool with that. Then that means
No.
you gotta buy help. Cool. Because if I were to do a video where I said, you know what, you could be a man, and you go into a marriage and you put 50% into the household, but then you keep your 50% too, women will lose their damn mind.
All right, Kevin, you got me. You got me.
I just think about it. Just think about it, because you don't have to live in a severe scarcity lack. Maybe readdress counseling, whatever's animating your issue to make you fearful of trusting somebody or trust whatever. It can only help to address it, because the money is not the problem.
You're right.
It's the mindset.
I don't like it when you're right, but you are.
Well, hey, shit. You ain't gonna like nothing then. She don't like the truth. Well, sitting there sipping her wine. And she even called herself a Christian, but sat there and went and had infidelity issues and went with another man and then got remarried. But yeah, the truth and her, they don't mix too well.
Well, that's why you come back. All right, then.
Okay,
thank
thank
you. When you're
you.
right. Why don't you like it when you're right? All right. Why
You're
don't you
always
like it?
right.
I'm not always right. I'm just right about several things. Have a good evening. I don't get it. Fear, scarcity, lack. We don't need to do that. Oh yeah. So I'll go ahead and bounce her off it. So that's what it comes down to. People, money is a tool. It's not used for tool to control. So, so there we go. See, most women don't have a problem with the ranking. Most women have a problem with where they rank. And a woman who's really comfortable with who she is and what she brings to the table, coming to the world in a spirit of abundance, a spirit of courage. Women like that are an asset to a man. A woman like that is a woman who is free to be feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. Women like that can be average looking, but be exceptional women because of their divine feminine. But women who are being miserly, withholding stuff, fear, scarcity, and lack, all this other kind of stuff, the ability to inspire a man goes zero, negligible. And ladies, men just are picking up and saying what it is they want and don't want. So you guys can sit around saying that this is a place for men who hurt you, and shame, insults, guilt that need to be right. This train is keep on moving. Men across the board are saying, look, you ladies have a standard, men have a standard too. Let's get to sit down at the table and hammer out and negotiate. The only women who really have a problem with that are women who don't want to negotiate a good deal. Women who want to negotiate an unfair deal are the ones that have a problem with places like this. That's why they go to the pejorative arguments. White supremacy, racism, and European. You never heard you really don't hear women who are competitive doing that. And it doesn't work. It just makes you ladies look crazy. Coming here, we're trying to have the same argument. Who hurt you? Who hurt you? You must be gay. Look. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, so at the end of the day, more men need to start standing and telling these women, I thought this way before. That's the thing. A lot of times they're like, yeah, y'all just say what he think. No. Men have always talked like this. Barbershop, gym, basketball court. And the fact that you ladies don't know men, don't understand men, to where the things I'm saying shocks you, just shows how far you've fallen, how far away you are from the very men you say you love. But it ain't going to change, ladies. It's only going to get more. Anyway.
Hi,
hello.
Kevin.
Hi. What's your disagreement?
So my disagreement is that Black women's behavior is not put into context. So there's the acting out, but it lacks context. I feel like it's misguided self-expression. And it's a problem, but it is something that when you remove the experiences that we have
Hold on.
Okay,
Then why can black women act right at work?
that's fair. That's fair. But I will say this: there's
No. You didn't answer. You just said it's fair. Why can they do that?
okay, code switching. W.E. Du Bois.
It's
It's
not
something
code.
that we're able to do in different
It's not code.
circumstances.
Not code switching. That's not code
Okay.
switching. Because
Okay.
there's a consequence. They act that way at work, they lose their job, they lose their money. True or false?
That's that's true. Can't argue with that.
So don't tell me about context. If you
Okay.
can control it at work, that means you can control it elsewhere. True or false?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, the only
That is
variable is
true.
how much you respect your situations. See, what you've just proven that black women can respect their environment, work environment, their paycheck, but they don't have that same level of respect when dealing with a black man.
That is 100% true. Because if you could sit there, go to work, hush your mouth when it comes to people coming at you, yelling at you, making you reach deadlines, basically telling you when you could take breaks, you would respect these people because you know that your money comes with this. But you don't look at another individual, another man as valuable. The guy that's going to die for you, the one that's there to protect you, the one that's there to provide for you, the one that's there to make sure that you're stable. Him, no, you will go crazy on him and have no respect. But when it comes to the guy that's employing you, you would give him you would give him the even amount of respect as God. Can't make this up.
So here's what I'd like to say. The sister who came on earlier, I wanted to
But let's acknowledge that
respond.
that's true. But before you do that, let's acknowledge that that's accurate. Or
Yes.
disagree. Which one is it? Is it accurate or you disagree?
Okay. So it is accurate, but again, there's context.
Yeah, the
that I feel
context,
like
you
is
don't
kind
have
of
you
missing.
got more respect for your job than you do the average black man. That's the context. We understand it. You don't have any respect. You know how to act when you respect somebody. When something's on the line, when there's a consequence. But there's nothing on the line with a black man because most black women have lack of respect for black men. So you can talk any other kind of way. That's the context.
Okay. When you say it like that, I feel like you're boiling it down in a real simplistic way.
Yeah, because it's very
In
simple.
the work environment.
Because it's very simple. Because it is very simple. Black women know how to act. Always have. It's just you have gotten so to the point to where you don't give a shit about what your reflection cares about. So because you don't have to respect it. You don't. There's no consequence when you deal with a black man. I mean, go back 3 calls when this woman's just complaining about smiling at a black man.
Right.
So I'm boiling it down, make it simplistic. Go ahead, tell us why it's such. Let me say something too before you do this. Remember when I said everything's variable, guys? Everything's variable is always subjective. The counter to that is it's either subjective or variable, or it's extremely complex. It's differential equations. It's calculation. It's calculating in force space. And if we were more intelligent, we could understand the complexities. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to respond to that sister. When I've had that experience as well at different points in my life where black men are like, hey, you should smile, miss. And when I think about it, sometimes you are just in deep thought, and truly, and with the context, the other women in other races, maybe they don't have to tell them to do that because they're not carrying the grief that we're carrying around. Like, we're mourning for our brothers in the community, like legit.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, ma'am, no. You're mourning. You cause black men more grief than LAPD, system of white supremacy, or any of this other shit. Mourn your brothers for what you do to us, not the system.
It all starts at home, doesn't it? Right? They say the key to many different behaviors all start at home. So that's first. And why does she make it seem like she went through slavery? Jesus. She's making it seem like she's been through the hardest time in her world. In the whole entire world. This is crazy.
Sorry, man, but I've heard that too much. And y'all get up on this high horse like before we got to deal with the system of white supremacy, we got to deal with what lays beside us.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I just feel like there is a level of deep concentration that sometimes we're in that impacts. I mean, it just does. It disproportionately impacts our community. So we do have more things on our mind than the women of other races. We can't have that levity that they may have at times. You know, I would love to, step into that all the time, but there's sometimes it's, you have a lot on your mind. I know.
Let's say I accept that being black in this country is because what are you doing about it? What's the name of your therapist?
What's the name of my therapist?
In general, are black women in therapy for these issues?
Yes.
In mass.
I think we're getting there, because what I can say is,
come on, Ma. This is the black community. The therapy we have in the black community. No. I'll let you say it, because there is a point to be made. The black experience in this country, because of chattel slavery, I can hear that. But what I can't hear is you're not doing anything about the issues that you want us to take under advisement. It just happens. It's a permanent condition that can't be changed. So what? It's either ignore it or Jesus.
That's very true. A lot of black people don't believe in therapy, and what they would rather run to is religion. They'd rather just go pray about it, go to church, things like that. So yeah, this is actually 1,000% true.
No,
I'm asking, what are you doing about it?
Me on a personal level?
No.
I'm a therapist. I'm a licensed therapist, and I'm serving our community.
You're a licensed therapist, and just like I know, I deal with therapists all the time, and black people are not in therapy at any large level.
Yeah, I agree, and I love that you promote it. It's becoming destigmatized, but we, of all people, we need it the most, and especially our women as well, and how to relate to our black men. There is a level of decorum that's missing, but again, I feel like it's misguided self-expression because of all the oppression and just the day-to-day microaggressions, all the things that we have to deal with. This is a way to kind of,
No, I'm not going.
All right.
I've tried, ma'am. The way you talk removes accountability from women. Misguided expression. Bullshit. You get away with it. We have one-way aggression and violence in our community. It goes from women to men. Men are not allowed full expression. That is why so many women get upset with my show, because I actually have the nerve to bark back.
Yeah, you do.
Because what you're saying, even for the truth in it, you are trying to expand it to where it covers a lot of things. No, what are you doing about it? What was all this misguided expression when we had Jim Crow, segregation, lynching, and all that other kind of stuff? Prior to 1965, when we were mad at a rate of 80%, what was all that misguided expression in? When we actually had real, institutionalized colored whites, where was it all then?
You're right. There were a lot more checks and balances in place. There was a lot more of a real threat. Like, you get out of line and you're going to lose a life.
No, ma'am. What I'm saying was, where was all the misguided expression from women to men back when we had real racism in your face.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
That's
that's
why
fair.
that's why I call bullshit on your example. Because as you become more free, you become more problematic.
Mm.
We are all
She's a therapist, by the way, but he's cooking. And you gotta tip your hat off because she's being respectful. Because we've seen the opposite when a lot of people have called into the show, but he is slicing dicing right now. She's a therapist.
almost two different races. Are black women our women?
Yeah.
We can't make a demand. We can't even ask you to smile, but you want us to protect you.
Mm. Mm.
Are you
Yeah.
our women?
No.
What do you think? What do you say?
Listen.
No. Before you answer this question, by the way you see the ethnic image of black women acting towards black men, are black women our women? Not aspirationally, by the results, by what you see.
Not aspirationally by what I see. Um, Not aspirationally. I feel like yes, we definitely we
I asked you what you see and you went to what you feel. Ma'am, are you going to actually tell me by what you see, black women act like they belong to black men?
they, we we need
That's a yes or no answer. That is very and simply a very, very, very easy question to answer. Yes or no? Very simply. Very simply. Yes or no? And the answer is no. That's not how they move, in all honesty. Let's continue.
need a lot of mentoring.
Yes
And
or
so
no?
I'm gonna say
No. See, you already starting to
okay.
beatboxing. See, subjective variable. See, when you ask a question that boxes them in, they don't want to call, they don't want to hold sister to the task, so they're gonna start breakdancing. Yes or no, man? You're a professional, right? A healthcare professional, right?
I am.
Answer the question.
But
Answer the question as a professional. Yes or no?
do do do
Are
our
black
women
women
look like
the
they?
black? You've heard the question 3 times. Are black women
I'm
ours?
gonna say that's tough. That's tough because the answer is yes. The answer is yes. We belong to like y'all. Yes, y'all are for us, and we are
Black
for
men,
you.
black men, black men. I want you
Truly.
to understand, black men. Hold on, man. Black men, I want you to understand how you felt when you saw her struggling to try to get this lie out of her mouth. That is the length they will go. That is, you go back to the no, ma'am. You go back to the comment section. Go to the time and date stamp. Go there and look at what the black men say. I know what I felt here. I've
Oh
asked
my
you,
God.
and no, ma'am, because I know the question I'm asking, and the answer is I can objectively say no, you're not, and
Mm.
I can say it, but you don't want to admit what we can see. If you look at what the men are saying, they're saying no, but you're still trying to tell us, yeah, we are, and the men are like, well, what world are you seeing? It's like, y'all, and you're a professional. I'm like, answer it as a professional, and you're still gonna get to the point where like, well, yeah, then the men don't know what they're seeing.
You, so yes, we definitely belong to you, and we want to just improve those relationships. I feel like we
You
just
belong to
have
us.
a difficult
You
time.
belong to us. You belong to us. This is what you're saying. So if that's the case, then why would a black man
Yes.
ask a black woman to smile? Is she offended if you belong to us?
Now, I disagree with being offended, but I don't
Why does a
disagree that
black woman
some
feel
people be on
why do
time.
why okay offended whatever what why does she feel put upon? Why does she feel like it makes a demand of her if it's just a smile? And understand, a black woman who's a femininity influencer asked her femininity group who wants to be married to black men to just smile at every black man, and she was savage for months.
Mm.
You know this is common, man. If black women
Mm.
truly belong to black men as you say they do, why do black women feel put upon by simply being asked to smile at black men? And here's the problem. If we can't have real conversations with our women, because I'm gonna tell you something, man. Black men know you're lying. They know you're
Um,
conflicted. Ma'am, look in the comment section. The black men know you're not being honest. And black men. Because when asked this question, you're speaking aspirationally. Men are saying, no, you're not ours. And they can see you struggling. But you're gonna find a way to rejigger this to make it make sense. And men are saying, you're not ours. We can't even ask you to smile at us.
okay. So, brothers, we love you. Let me just tell you, just got
No,
had a
ma'am.
beautiful
No,
smile.
no,
We
no,
need
no,
you.
no,
We
no, no.
do.
Before we get to that, we need truth.
Okay.
Can you honestly say that greater than 50% of the adult black females act and move as though they belong to black men?
No. And I'm going to answer. Can I rebuttal to that?
Go ahead.
I don't feel like the majority necessarily act like they belong to any man, though. So it's not like we're ditching
But
them
there's only one.
and we're going.
But you can rebuttal that, man. But you're only supposed to belong to one.
Yes,
See, that's
absolutely.
subjective variable bullshit. That's not an answer, man. Black men don't want to hear that we don't belong, because you don't expect every man to protect you. When somebody's going upside your head, you ain't asking Brad, Lee, Ahmed, Enrique, protect us. You asking a black man to protect you.
You're right.
So we
You're
don't give a
absolutely
shit if you
right.
don't feel like you belong to anybody else. White women, do white women act like they belong to white men? Yes
Yes,
or no? Do Hispanic women act like they belong to Hispanic men?
absolutely.
Do Asian women act like they belong to Asian men?
Definitely.
Oh, but I want you guys to notice this, right? Notice the stages in how he's asking, and the format in how he's asking, and the different answers she's giving. White man, yeah. With white women, yeah. Let's say Asian man with an Asian woman, oh, definitely. You see the difference. But if you were to ask the same question he asked the first time, does black men belong to black women? She can't answer. It's funny.
Do Middle Eastern women act like they belong to Middle Eastern men?
Yes.
Do black women act like they belong to black men?
By and large, no. But
See,
those
the fact that you had to even put a modifier on there says you are still conflicted with the reality you are seeing. There was no modifier ever before black people. No,
you're
no modifier.
100%.
Exactly.
And see, that's the problem. And that's the problem, because it is going to come down to women checking women and getting you guys straight. We cannot fix you because you have no respect for us. You only respect each other. And if we can't rely on the educated of you and the intelligent of you and the learned of you to at least be honest, black men will sit back saying, who the fuck can we rely on? Honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
mean,
saying that men can't. Black men are just asking black women to be nice to us. That's it. Just be nice to us. And they can't get that in mass on a regular basis. I don't know if you ladies really understand how bad it is.
yeah. Yeah.
But then when you see
No.
a black girl get hit in the face with a skateboard, you want black men to check him because he shouldn't have hit her. There should be no violence. But then you ask yourself a question: why does this black man feel so detached from this black woman? Because they can feel it. And y'all won't be honest. And it takes me asking questions this way and that way. And before I can even kind of nail the jello on the wall, and it's still, well, do you want black men to do this when it comes to talking about our obligation to you? Do you want modifiers from us when it comes to you?
No.
Well, then stop
You
doing it with
ask some
us.
tough questions.
Because it needs to be asked, because I should not have to ask the motherfucking questions. Becky ain't got to ask, Brad ain't got to ask it of Becky. Lee doesn't have to ask it of Maylene. Enrique doesn't have to ask it of Marisol. Anu doesn't have to ask it of pick a Middle Eastern name. But Keith has to ask it of Keisha. Somebody got to ask it. I'll take the smoke. Thank you for at least trying to be honest, man. But this is where the fuck we are.
Yeah.
That's why I got upset and said no. When you go into the same old trope of black women do this because of we're mourning for our brothers. And I'm like, whoa, I know more black men who say, I ain't got to worry about the white man. I got to worry about this woman laying next to me. This is my oppressor. This is my abuser. This is the one that calls CPS and child support and the white man on me when I ain't doing what the hell she think I should be doing. This is what brings the white man into my house.
Oh, God.
Ask your brothers.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hello.
Hi, your first name is Faith?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'll be 30 next month.
Okay, what do you got for me?
Well, I'm a single mom, and I think that it's okay with wanting a high value man. Like, I think it's okay.
You said you think it's what?
It's okay for me to I'm about to start dating again, and I think that that's what I would like to date, and I think it's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, were you married?
Yeah.
How long?
4 years.
Okay. And was your husband a high value man?
He was working his way up to one, but no.
Okay. What does that mean?
He was starting businesses. He was a military man, and
Okay.
he was, getting off his feet. So,
all right. How many children do you have?
2.
All right. So, to the market, what you're basically saying is, hey, the man I married and had 2 children was not high value. But now I'm coming to the market, divorced, older, with 2 children, wanting a man who was financially better than the one I had 2 kids for.
Yeah. I know it sounds bad, but at the same time,
it sounds exactly like what it is. I don't fault you for wanting what you want, but the question always comes back, Faith, why should a high value man pick you versus picking why should a high value man pick you versus picking a woman he can make his own children with?
This is just so crazy. And she just confidently, very, very confidently says, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. I know I'm being delusional right now in trying to request this, but you know what? Let me just go ahead and put it out there because I'm special. I guarantee you she's about to get into a reason why how she is so special and the reason why she needs to be picked. Probably because of how amazing she is, just because it's her.
That's true. I agree. Because when I had kids, I didn't want a man with kids also. So I agree. However, I'm just saying, I think that I think that I could get a high value man possibly just because I have kids. It's not going to make it like, oh my gosh, she has kids. And I was going to ask you a question.
Hold on. What city or what state are you in?
Alabama.
Oh, one of the poorest states in the union. You just think you can get a high value man? Do you know any high value men?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you a question. This guy, he's talking to me. He's a high value man, and I was just trying to figure out, like, does he really like me, or is he just like probably wanting a booty call because he's high value? But
probably number 2. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Probably number 2.
He has no kids, and I'm just trying to figure out, like,
he has children.
No, he doesn't have any children.
Right, man. I mean, all right. So let's fast. Hold on. Listen. Do you have a son or a daughter? Do you have a son?
I have two boys, a 1 and
Okay,
a
so let's
2-year-old.
fast forward. Let's fast forward 35 years. And your oldest son is an accomplished attorney making $400,000 a year. And you've had to work with your ex to put your son through, University of Alabama, through Harvard, through junior law, all that stuff. And he comes home and says, "Mama, I'm getting married to a woman, a woman with two kids." You gonna say, "All right, son, I worked all my life for you to go do that."
I wouldn't
Yes, let's go
I
get
wouldn't
it.
be happy at first. However, if
What?
she was,
No. See, now stop right there. See, stop right there. Why wouldn't you be happy at first?
because I'll be like, you can start your own family. However, if that's what
Let's
you
keep
want,
going.
if
Let's
you want
keep
to
no,
be
no, no. Let's
stepdaddy,
not go down to however. Let's keep on that path. You can start your own family
because that'd be the right thing to do. That's what I
not the
plan.
right thing, the
That's
better thing, because you didn't raise your son and go through all that for him to take over some other person's bills.
yeah, that's true.
Welcome to you.
All right,
I'm
thanks.
sorry, man, but that's the truth. Are your
I
children an
I see what
asset?
you're saying, but it's
But
like
but you still keep the
I see what
but.
you're
Are
saying,
your
but it's just
children,
like, okay,
listen, are your children an asset to another man?
they can be.
I didn't ask if they can. How can they be?
Some guys just want to be stepdaddy.
No. Tell.
What? Guys, everyone watching this video right now, do you want to be a stepdad? Like, is this something you're aspiring to do? You just want to wake up one day and just become a stepdad, according to this woman's logic. I need to know, because I think your first instinct is to at least have your own children if you can, right?
Tell me how they can be an asset.
Can't tell you nothing right now. Can't think of anything. So you got me. You're right.
If bottom line, man, you married a military guy. Why are y'all divorcing?
He was cheating, and we can't
Okay.
work it out because he's a narcissist. So
Okay,
it's just not
hold on.
working out.
Narcissist, has he had a clinical designation of narcissist, or are you just saying that?
Clinical medication. Something's going on.
Narcissists lack empathy. Okay. So a narcissist is narcissist. He's been around children, so he has no. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say this, man. This whole high value thing has a lot of you ladies in a bad position. Man, you're in Alabama. You're a divorcee with two kids, and you want one. Do you care if he's black? The man is black,
I would prefer him to be black. Yes.
and that means you want 8% of black men. 8%. 8% of black men earn over $100,000, and they don't really tend to live in Alabama. That's 8%, regardless as to the age. 8%, regardless as to their current marital status. 8%, regardless as to sexual orientation. And you didn't make babies with an 8% man. You made babies with a guy in the middle. Please
True.
explain to me why you want a guy who's so high up now.
I
That's
feel
what I really
that
want to
it's nothing.
understand.
I feel there's nothing wrong with wanting a stepdaddy with high value. Like, it's okay for me wanting my kids to go to private school. Like,
Really?
if that makes, yeah, like, I
No.
think
Tell me
that
why. Tell me why it's okay.
because if I find a guy and he's high value and he's okay with, I just don't see how it's like, oh, she got kids. Oh, I understand it is like more options out there, but just like, it's possible.
Really? So you don't see any problem, you don't see any issue with wanting your kids to go to private school that you cannot afford to pay for and your husband can't afford to pay for.
No, like if
Huh,
that's what you know, because I'm
and
about to
see,
start
I'm gonna tell
dating
you,
again, and that's what I'm looking
I'm gonna
for.
tell you this. That's one of the issues in our community, that a woman like yourself could honestly come up and say, I don't see any problem getting somebody who had nothing to do with this to pay for the bill. That's that welfare state mentality.
No,
That's
it's
that.
not. I think that that's.
Listen. I'm not insulting you, man, but listen.
I'm
You
listening.
can't afford it. Your husband can't afford it. That means you don't get it. The only way you could get your kids in private school is to find somebody else who's willing to put your kids in private school. You want your kids in private school? Get a nanny, get a tutor, work with them to get them a scholarship. That's what you're supposed to do. Go get a second job. Go. Don't go get your
And
hair
that's
done.
another thing.
Listen,
Like I'm a
listen.
stay-at-home mom, and I was
Okay,
okay.
ma'am. In this
Yeah.
life, we get what we work, what we earn and worth. You want somebody else to pay your bills. That is unfair. It is selfish
How?
because you don't have the money. And
I
you
do
said,
have.
but
I do
not,
have,
you
and
can't
that's
afford
another
to put
thing.
your
My
kid. Oh,
family
Jesus.
comes from money.
Okay. Let me go ahead and grab this mute button because you said if somebody wants to come along and put your kids in private school, but you can't afford to put your kids in private school.
That's what you said. I didn't say that I can't
You
afford.
But you said if somebody wants to come along and put your kids in private school, by implication, meaning they're going to be paying for it, not you. I'm not trying to play
That's
semantic
true.
things.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is yeah, they'll be paying
Exactly.
for it if they're my husband.
No, they're not your husband. They'll be your
If
step.
they were.
All right.
Yeah, she's just very, very weird. And what's also funny about this is she really sat there and said, how is it selfish if I put all of that on another man to pay for it? How is it selfish of me? That's crazy. You want a guy making more, a better man, essentially. You want a better man, and then you want him to cover everything. And what is he going to get? She still hasn't named. But then how is this selfish, she asked. She will sit there and ask. It's crazy.
So in other words, guys, pay attention. These are the women you need to pay attention to. These are the women that really don't care about you. Because you said it, ma'am, if it were your sons, you would want him to go start his own family. But you're
And
so
see, I don't like how you.
But I don't care, man. The
Flip.
way the words came out, the way you said, if they were your sons, you would want them to start their own families.
Yes.
But for you,
But I
it's
also
all
said
right.
if they do want to be stepdaddy, they can be. So
That's
both
not
of
the
them is
point.
cool.
I didn't ask. Nope. Again, pay attention to what's going on here. It's because of her. It's not because it's what's right.
No,
It's
you
not
ain't about
because
to
of
do me
what's
like
right or
this.
what's best.
No, because no, you're trying to flip it.
I'm not flipping shit. I'm saying exactly what you're saying. It's not because of what's right or what's best. It's because of it's you. That's what it is. It's because of it's her. Think about what she's saying. I would want my sons to get the best possible, but I want you to pay for it. And that's fine, but what is he going to get for that? Me? And this is the mentality that guys are listening to, ladies, and saying, do y'all give a damn about it? Talk about narcissist? Did that woman sound like she cared about a man? Let's get to the next one.
And that's going to be the ending of this video. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. You will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. If you guys want to support me, link to that will be in the description down below. Head over there and support. I will appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.